On the Wado Radio Show.
Yes, it's DJ Wado. It's the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music, it's ministry. And you guys know I love to occasionally bring you guys new artists, people that we think you should be checking for that may not be on your radar, man. And C.W. Allen is definitely one of those people. He's on the line with me right now. Currently living from on the south side of Chicago, but it's a huge but right here. He is a Cleveland, Ohio native, man. You know, we always salute the Ohio natives, the Buckeyes, man. What's up, bro?
Well, you know, it feels good after last night setting that NBA record, so I'm trying to silence the doubters. Believe me.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm not a Cavs fan, though.
Oh, that's right. You're a Lakers guy.
I'm a Lakers fan, bro.
But you shouldn't be.
Well, I mean, listen. I became a Lakers fan in the 80s, man. I wasn't really with Mark Price and Brad Daugherty and all of that like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it. Somebody, you gotta have a dream somewhere.
That's it.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad to be on here, bro, man. I've always been a listener, a fan of what you're doing, so it's just an honor to be a part of the Wado Radio Show.
Oh, you took it back too. Yeah, you took it back.
Yeah.
You took it back to that's the Cam intro right there, man.
Yeah, right, the Cam joint.
That's the Cam joint.
Where's Cam at?
Yo, you know, Cam is that's a good question. Cam is actually a minister. He's always been a minister.
Okay.
And he actually has a printing company that he runs out in where's he at? I think Oklahoma City or Tulsa. He lives in one of those two.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that for years. Like even when he was like actively releasing music and on all the early 116 stuff, you know what I mean? Like he was always kind of doing that in the background. And I mean, he's doing real well from what I hear, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, good
Shout
dude.
out to Cam.
Good dude. And I heard on the low, you know, I don't get to see all the credits anymore because we don't be having physical CDs. Everything is digital, but that he still writes a lot of stuff for people. So even though you might not hear him, his presence is still, you know, it's still kind of felt.
He's a talented guy, man. I love his stuff.
Oh yeah, man, crazy man. He was creative, bro. It's definitely creative, man. And man, listen, bro. Speaking of just creativity and all of that, man. Man, I want to. I think first start, man, by just kind of allowing you the opportunity to kind of just share your story with everybody, man. Because, you know, besides just being an artist, you know, recording artist, you know, you do a lot of ministry in Chicago, you know, Young Life, Sunshine Gospel Ministries, all that stuff, man. So just share the people, man, who C.W. Allen is, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, my full name is C.W. Allen Jr. I'm really C.W. Like that's my real first name. There's a down south story to that one. But I've been doing youth ministry now for about 10 years.
Wow.
So I started in Cleveland, just volunteering and doing summer jobs. And then and that was right after high school. It was crazy. Like I'm skinny as a bean, 19, and half my kids that I'm leading are like 20, looking at me like lunch meat, you know. But it was great. But so I've been doing youth ministry for a while now. I got saved when I was around 12 years old.
Okay.
I took a trip to Michigan, and a cousin introduced me to the Lord, and I met him and got back to Cleveland. And that's kind of where I got plugged into Youth for Christ when I was around 13 and a half or so. And yeah, man, Youth for Christ plugged me in the church, and shout out to Cleveland's Youth for Christ. They were amazing. And then, you know, I just grew in my church. And in 2009, I ended up in Chicago because I went to Moody Bible. I really felt like God was calling me to ministry and to do it to some capacity, but also was very passionate about my music. And Moody had a communications program, but they also had a Bible. So everybody doubles in Bible with something.
Wow.
So it was cool for me being independent because I could learn everything I needed to learn surrounding my craft, but then I got great biblical insight too. So that's just a little bit of who I am. Oh, I've been married for 3 years now.
Nice. Can't forget that.
Yeah, I met my wife at Moody Bridal Institute. Snatched her up. So it's been fantastic. It's been amazing being here, and God has been real good to me, man.
Hey, hold up. Did you call it Moody Bridal Institute.
Yeah, Ring Before Spring.
Wow, I thought you was just kind of being funny, but
Yeah, that's what we say. We say a ring before spring. So
man,
it's funny. Christian culture is so different because
yeah,
we're trying to live pure
yep,
and all kinds of other stuff. So people speed up the process. So like I got a guy who's we call it PCM, and so that's Practical Christian Ministry. They plug into the ministry each week. And he's a freshman, and he's getting married like in a couple weeks,
jeez.
like 18 straight out of high school, bro. So
Man.
he put his ring on before spring, so it's a different culture.
Sure, absolutely, bro. I can't front though. Me and my wife got married quick. It was like 6 months, bro.
You know what? I'm not opposed to it. I think I think 6 months is a good time to kind of know. A year will give you a good well-roundedness about it.
Absolutely.
But I'm one of those guys that some parents might hate because I encourage young marriages if the two are mature enough to handle it.
Sure.
Because, you're not older, there's not baggage built up and all of that stuff. And you learning who each other is.
Yep.
My wife was 19, I was 22 when we met, and I was 25 and she was 21 when we got married. So she relatively was still very young too, and so she learned me, and she learns who she is. So it was great. So
well, I think I think one of the biggest keys with marriage, I know what helped me and Belinda, my wife, tremendously was marriage counseling. Like my pastor, he is a beast when it comes to marriage counseling, bro. Like that brother get you straight in one session, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like one, just the ministry itself, but then he's got 40 years of practical experience that he's adamant with sharing, and so I think that's major, man. Because it gives you expectation of what you're going into with the marriage.
I agree, man. You need to be told about the kind of like how we should be sharing the gospel, what we don't, at least in America. So that's a whole nother story. But we should share the up and the down. Like we should be sharing like the hard parts of marriage and asking people, "You sure you really want to do this? Because this ain't buying a car. This is buying a house. This is a lifelong commitment, So you don't get to fulfill your fleshly desires and then keep it moving. Like no. That person's there forever, So
yeah, it's real talk, bro. How did you get into doing music, man? Like, were you one of those guys that was kind of always doing music, and when you got saved, you just kind of kept doing it, or did the music kind of come along after?
Yeah, man, I was like shooting people and quiet people. They were like my targets, man. Like word. No, I was actually I didn't start rapping. So I've always been an artist. I would draw cartoons and comic books and all of that. So I wanted to be a cartoonist for a while growing up. But when I got about 18, I had a girlfriend who was like, see, Doug be on the bus mumbling and stuff. And we got the open mic coming up, and he challenging y'all to do it, but he's scary. And she challenged me, bro. And so I did the open mic with some homies and freestyle. And a lot of people were like, yo, you actually pretty good at this. And, I've never been thinking about rapping or doing music. I love music, but the idea of being an artist was never something that I could fathom. And so I think naturally just being a little more artistic than most, God just flourished that gift. And luckily, not luckily, but by grace, I was a Christian at that point. So everything that came out was just a reflection of my heart. And I grew in my craft. And so I was about 18, almost 19. Actually, I was 19 at that point, and I'm 29 now. So it's been about 10 years and just growing in my craft and developing a passion for it.
Man, that's good, bro. That's real good, man. You have this new single, "Heroes Never Die." And which I think is very creative. Just kind of how you weaved in there the whole, like we running a race, like the race of life, bro. Like what kind of sparked this song and this, everything that kind of comes along with that, bro?
Oh yeah, I love that song. So with Heroes Never Die, the first verse is like this idea of this person running a race, and you got, the crowd screaming, all of that stuff, and all the distractions around you. I used to be a runner in high school, so I ran cross country and track, and so I love running and the idea of it. And my coach would always tell us, today we running for a PR, personal record. We never were running against competition. No matter, like, we ran against like Ted Gins and Cecil Shorts, like dudes who in the league now playing football.
Okay,
so
because Ted Ginn was like, he had like that 4.240, bro. Like,
he was the man. Like, I only seen him lose one race, and it was to Mario Manningham, and it was a race he never ran, and it was by a tenth of a second.
Wow.
It was crazy. So, but he would always say, "You running against the clock to get a personal record." And so that mindset is the same mindset I take into ministry and for life, is that I'm running against the clock. Like, regardless of what other people around me are doing and all of that. And, sometimes we get caught up in that. But you don't want to, in a race, you don't want to change your pace to match somebody else.
Right.
You want to run the pace that you train to run, so that, especially marathon runners do a good job at it. Because when you're done with your 26 miles, you want the best time possible. You don't want to burn out too fast and have a slower time or anything like that. So, like that idea of just running this race and seeking your best, or the Lord's best for you, is what you want to do. And so I drew the analogy of just running, and you got opponents in your face, and you got hurdles in the way. One time at a race, man, I got a lot of embarrassing track stories, Wade. So one time it was my freshman year, and to play basketball, our coach required us to run cross country. This is how I started running. I'm overweight. I'm short. Everything that you can picture a freshman being on the bad end, I was that guy. So we at the district championship for cross country, right? And so we're running, and it's 64 runners. My coach is pumping my head up, bro. Just like, you about to kill it. You about to do your thing, C-Dub. Forget Glenville, that's Ted Ginn's team. Forget all of them. You about to kill it. And so the gun pops, and I take off. And I'm going as fast as I can, and I'm up with the lead pack. Mind you, these are dudes who running like 15s in cross country, and I'm running like a 30 something.
Wow.
So it was pretty bad. So I'm with them for the first 400 meters, and then slowly people start passing me. And by the end of the race, I'm dead last, 64.
Oh,
I mean, it was rough. Even the kid who was bigger than me, even the kid who was 50 more pounds heavier than me was beating me. And so it was so bad, bro, that when the race was over, somebody was like, I heard the gun pop for a new race to start, and they were still running the clock for my race. I'm coming in, and I'm hoping nobody see me, and this lady goes, "There's one more!" And they start slow clapping, bro, and it was horrible.
Oh.
But it just, so I was dead last.
Hey, did you think about quitting after that? Like, going through that, did you think man, maybe this isn't for me? Like, this might not be my lane?
Bruh, I sat up on that bus and cried like it was bad. So, but it encouraged me. And the next semester, I lost a lot of weight. I got a lot faster. The next year I came back, my time dropped by 10 minutes.
Wow, 10 minutes?
It was a complete, by 10 minutes, bro. I was running a 30, I think 31 at that race. I was running a 21:20 my sophomore year.
Wow.
It was completely different. So,
and how far is that again?
Yeah. 3.1.
Wow.
So that's not impressive.
No, but I'm saying that's still. But 10 minutes off of that's a lot.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was wild. So, but that's my mindset as I approach. And then the hurdles in the song. One time I ran a race, and this guy, first time running the hurdles, this guy clips my hurdle, bro, and I fell and slid, and everybody in the stadium was like, "Ooh." It was rough, but opponents shaking my face. So a lot of those are personal experiences, but I kind of made them into this hopefully epic story. So yeah,
it's. I mean, as I'm hearing you tell this, bro, I think that just relates so much to life, though.
Yeah.
just in general, like, man, we get so many hurdles, so many embarrassing moments, so many times where you're like, man, I want to quit, I want to stop, whatever. And that's why I felt like just the creativity in that song was so dead on, because I'm like, man, this is relatable to people. Like, this is the Christian journey right here.
Yeah. I agree, man. And that's what I hope with all of my music is that it's just like the concert a few days ago. I was saying I try to make real music for real people.
Sure.
And I want stuff that people can relate to, man. Like in one song we did, it's called "Playing My Part." I was like, have you ever felt like you wasn't good enough? The idea, like I started the verse with a question, like just talking about this idea of you practice hard but you never get the ball. It's like you always are the last thought for somebody to pick you up on being on their team or whatever the case may be. And I think anybody can relate to that, And so as I write music, I really, really think about everyday life and how people cope with that and try to write music to help.
Steve, bro. It's good.
Yeah, man.
It's good. Man, let's talk about Chicago for a minute, man. Like, I
Yeah.
think it's unfortunate, and I say this because I know you do a lot of ministry there, even with Young Life, working with young people out there.
Yeah.
But it's like the thing that kind of saddens me, because I love Chicago. It's like one of my favorite cities in the country,
Yeah.
But it's like when you bring up Chicago, the first thing everybody thinks is murders.
Yeah.
Murders.
Yeah.
What's popping on the street? Like, the drug trade, the gangs, the even and now the political corruption. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of some of that stuff, man. Like,
Yeah.
you're living in this every day, and man, just your general vibe, man, for what's happening in the city right now.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of people don't know, but Chicago's called the Windy City, and it's
Right.
not because it's cold, though it is. It's because of the windy politics.
Oh man, I thought it was because of that hawk coming off the lake, brother.
Well, that's what we refer to now. But it's the windy politics and the corrupt politicians and all of that
Yeah.
stuff over the years. But it's I say it like this: they shoot a little bit more here than they did in Cleveland, and it is a lot. It is a lot to deal with. I can't even front like it's perfect, but there's also beauty in God's glory also displayed. Like we have a business program here at our ministry, and to watch local entrepreneurs do more than just sell socks and DVDs on the train or loose squares. It's cool to watch them develop business plans and think through how they're going to move forward their business and hire people and create jobs. So there's things like that happening. But then there's also people shooting. Like we had a guy a few blocks down, he got shot in the leg and he limped over and laid in front of our coffee shop because it's a safe ground. So, I mean, you do experience that stuff, and it's new. Like when my wife got here, she was working downtown at Moody and with the conference department, and her boss was just talking about how they had to get the banners right and, why are they late and whatever the case may be. And in her mind, like, I was just at a stoplight and somebody was shooting behind my car, and you thinking about conference banners. Like, it's kids dying. Mrs. Moody Bible Institute. So it's such a contrasting world. And it is very different, bro. I mean, it's heart-wrenching at times. And it is that you don't become too desensitized to it.
Sure.
Because there are times, like, I hear gunshots and I'm just like, oh, somebody must have got popped. Or, oh, they're shooting. And it's like, but it's like, in my mind, I should be like, whoa, somebody just got shot. Like, it should be more of an urgency, and it's just at times you can just zone out and completely get so used to what's going on around you, and that's hard. That's tough. So I'm always praying that God would help me to be a person who weeps with those around me and love them. But yeah, Chicago can be off the chain, but it also has a lot of good things about it too.
Oh yeah, it's a great city, man. It's just that part of it, and somebody was sharing it with me one time at one point that it really seemed that most of the murders were concentrated in just like a few zip codes. So it wasn't even like it's like the whole city really. I mean, obviously it's not that because you got different economic levels, but it's really just a
Yeah.
few spots where all this is happening.
Oh yeah. Some areas are definitely worse than others. Like we live in Woodlawn, which is right next to Inglewood. So Woodlawn and Inglewood are kind of one of those areas where they shoot a little bit more. It's a little bit more crazy. But then you walk down probably about 5 blocks to Cottage Grove, and you cross over and you're in the University of Chicago,
Yeah.
and it's Hyde Park where Obama's house is at, and it's a completely different world. And when I usually give people a tour, take them around that, they like, this is crazy. I've never seen such a drastic change, but like the ideas of gentrification and redlining, you still see traces of those, and things like that still happen. And like, I got kids who, it's such a high turnover rate. It's like, I think somebody said it's like 48% turnover rate of kids in school. So when a kid starts school in the school year, like 48% of that school is probably going outside of the school to a different place because they got moved because of Section 8 change, they live in arrangements or whatever the case may be. So it's interesting, man. Like I got down the street in a local elementary school, kids don't even take books home, like because the school don't want to pay for the books. Like it's just because of the low income and the difference in north side and south side and education levels. It's unbelievable. It's wild, bro.
And I never heard of that, bro. The kids can't even take the books home.
The teachers are like photocopying the schoolwork, and they photocopy the pages from the book, and the kids bring it, and we help them in our after school program. Yeah.
And this is a public school.
Oh, that's public, bro. Yeah, that's public. So that.
I mean, that almost sounds like a low budget charter school, dog. Like running like that, dog. Like that's my God.
Yeah, bro. It's different, man. I'm telling you, like when we were in high school, we had a chance to transfer into different schools and all of that with special transfer. But here in 8th grade, kids are thinking about taking a test to apply to high school. So if you don't get into the high school you wanted to get into because your test scores are good, then you go to the local high school, which might have rival gang members. You got to cross certain lines, whatever the case may be. So kids get PTSD, and I mean it's nuts. Like it's a whole different way of living that they have to think about. Like I went to a decent high school in Cleveland and learned what I needed to learn. But kids who go to our local schools, they might not get that, and the government funding runs out.
Man.
So it's just tough, man. So we have to create after school programs, and the church has to be the church and getting into these places or creating things to help kids with their education initiatives and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I hear about so many after school programs in Chicago. Like, I have there's a brother of mine that goes to our church, and he does a lot of stuff in the kind of in the mentoring community. And I remember, man, for like a year straight, it seemed like he was in Chicago every week, kind of helping set up some of these different after school programs. Obviously, I know about GRIP. I know about the stuff that you're doing, and it's just like that stuff is so needed in the communities, bro.
It is. It's crucial, bro. It really is. And I mean, because you're dealing with, and I hate to showcase like the brokenness because there is definitely God's glory on display. I want to really stress that. But, because of the lack of different resources and things like that, we have no choice but a lot of times to start parachurch ministries and things like that to really help with the need. Like I have a young guy living with me now who was one of my high school students. And he showed up at my place with a garbage bag and some clothes, and I've had him for 6 months now. So it's just, life just hit different here in the hood. You know how that go.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting, man, because it's like a lot of the same problems that you guys have there. We see them here in Newark, New Jersey, bro.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the same stuff, man. Gangs, drugs, all that stuff, man. Do you man, like, kind of coming from a different city and then moving to Chicago and kind of getting into this world per se. Was that like a massive adjustment for you in terms of just being able to just even relate with a lot of the people that you're ministering to and serving, just being able to relate to their story and their circumstances?
Not really, man, because I grew up in Cleveland. Like, I was in the city, so I lived some east side, which is a lot like the south side,
Right.
and then
East
some west.
side of Cleveland is rough, bro.
Yeah, yes, it is, especially certain parts, bruh, and then the west side. And so they both were like inner city living,
Yep.
same issues, and like both my mom and dad had drug addictions. My mom got clean when I was a preteen, and then all of my experience in life, like I know dudes who were in gangs and all that stuff, like cousins who went to jail. So a lot of the things that I encounter now are pretty much like the same things that I encounter back home. And the people are the same. I mean, I feel like they talk a little bit more Southern here. But other than that, it's all the same, man. It's just the violent rate. The violence is a little bit more aggressive here in Chicago. But adjusting wise, it was about the same. Chicago's a lot bigger too, so that's a difference. But
Yeah, that's definitely yeah. I feel that, bro.
Oh, you know what? I will say that way. The segregation is off the charts here. It's very much community, like pockets of different communities, like which can be beautiful, like to have a Chinatown or a Polish town and all of that stuff. But like a lot of it wasn't done out of the necessity to have cultures grow and flourish together. It was more so done to marginalize certain different people. Like Martin Luther King came here and was like, "This is one of the most segregated places I've ever been."
Wow.
And he went all through the South. Yeah. Like churches wouldn't even host them because they were afraid that the mayor and the different law enforcement agencies would cut their water off or hike their bills up. So they were told, like, if you host Dr. King at your church, then you can count on not being able to afford your property tax or get your levies passed or whatever the case. So they were scared to host them.
Wow.
Like, that's just how Chicago has always been, bro.
Wow. So, and this is when he was doing, what was he doing up there? It was called the Poor People's Campaign or something like that?
Yeah, it was a lot of slum landlords. So he was coming here to just kind of speak against that and get the landlords to really treat the black residents with dignity. And, man, they were going to do a march down Cicero, which is a pretty big street here in Chicago.
Yeah, that's like on the west side, right?
Yep. Not too far from Bryan and them.
Yep.
And so it was just, it was really intense, man, because, that was an area that blacks would not go into. So they were like urging him not to do it. Like, people had bricks ready. And so, it's just, that's always been the tone. Like, the community I'm in now is, remember the Raisin in the Sun movie?
Yep.
Literally right down the street, one of my kids live in the house. So,
Wow.
Like that, this community was a Polish community at one point. So it's just, that's just how Chicago's always been, extremely segregated, which was different for me. West Side Cleveland is pretty diverse. So, yeah.
Man, lot going on there, brother. Lot going on.
Yeah, bro.
So, CW, man, like, what's next for you, man, just in terms of just like, your little movement you got brewing right now, man?
Bro, I'm super excited. Man, just, it's been 10 years of grinding, and, that can be discouraging for artists, especially when you're independent, because you like wondering if people listening, if you're really good at what you're doing, should you hang it up, all the emotions that go with it.
Yep.
But I feel like last year was really a season to just step into solidifying the brand in a special way. So I dropped We On in January 2015, which was a full-length album, and then the two singles, Vent and Heroes Never Die, recently. And so I'm just right now just pushing Heroes Never Die, and we're setting up a tour for it in the fall. So
Nice.
Looking to do that, yeah, man, Midwest, East Coast, and then I'm thinking about doing like a special release EP for the tour, surrounding this Heroes theme. So it's dope. Off the record, I got to tell you about some of the concepts. But you know, I'm very much a comic book guy. So like I'm thinking about drawing a graphic novel for it as well. Like I've already started with like this crazy storyline. So it's fun, man. I'm excited to see God really using all of my different gifts and helping me to become more confident in them. For years, you know how some people struggle with pride and they're arrogant?
Yeah.
I think the pride that I've always struggled with is more low self-esteem and being overcritical of myself. So I think, you know, at 29, I'm just starting to really get past that or figure out how to balance it. So, you know, just walking in confidence and trying to make these next moves work. I officially got incorporated as a label. And so Vintage Hero is official. And we're just grinding, bro. So I got a nice team of people. We're trying to figure this thing out.
Man, that's good, bro.
Yeah.
For those of you trying to figure out how to connect with CW, the website CW Allen Music with a Z, and with a Z and a K, CWAllenmusic.com is what it is, bro. And yeah, man. Any other way they can connect? Give them the social media, man.
Bro.
The gram, the Twitter, I don't know if you're doing the Snapchat and all that, but
oh man, you know what? My manager said you gotta get a Snapchat, and I'm like, that's for people with no life. Just playing, but serious.
You know, hey, look, man, I got a Snapchat, and that, man, I don't really be messing with it yet either, bro. Like, it's I can't call it, man. I'm
just not cognizant of like everything that I do throughout the day to say, let me Snapchat this moment. It's just not me, but I'm gonna have to learn. So I have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Instagram and Twitter, CW_Allen, ALLEN. And then Facebook is CW Allen. That's the band page as well. And then everything else is pretty much CW Allen. It's not a lot of CWs out there, so you should be able to find me.
Man, that's good money, man. CW, man. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you too, man, and thanks so much for everything that you do with these interviews. I got the Sizzle interviews that you do on repeat, because those are, I think, just as an artist, they teach me so much. I love Sizzle and all that he do, and everything that you're doing with the podcast is just so encouraging to hear people's stories. So, yeah, man, thank you.
Man, appreciate it, brother.
On the way to radio show.